Believe it or not, Tetris has been played by at least 1 billion people worldwide. It's simple, straightforward, and even a video game noob like me has played it. Flip, fit, and repeat, but it's that repeat step that makes this game highly addictive. Not just taking the world by storm in the 80s and 90s, but having an impact on quite a few interesting things, from your sleep to the songwriter who brought us cats. Get ready to flip, fit, and repeat on today's episode of Cool Stuff, Strange Things. Tetra, the prefix for the number 4, representing the 4 corners of each block, plus tennis equals Tetris. Tennis was Tetris creators Alexei Pajitnov's favorite game. The software engineer created Tetris in 1984 while working at a government-run research and development arm of the Soviet Academy of Sciences. Now, nothing about that job sounds fun, but fun is the reason why Pajitnov created the game. Once he showed his new games to his coworkers, they were instantly hooked, and who can blame them? He was definitely onto something, and the game was quickly shared and spread across Moscow on floppy disks. With private businesses illegal in the Soviet Union, Pajitnov was nervous about what his superiors might do if he attempted to make Tetris into a commercial piece of software. One of these disks made its way to Hungary, where it ended up on display at the Hungarian Institute of Technology, catching the attention of software company owner Robert Stein from the United Kingdom. Stein tracked down Pajitnov in Moscow, but ultimately the game's fate lay in the hands of a new Soviet agency, Elektronorg Technica, otherwise known as Elorg. They licensed the game to Stein, who licensed it to distributors, then other messy licensing deals for handheld devices and coin-op machines ensued, with big companies like Microsoft, Atari, Sega, and Nintendo. A lot of money changed hands, but Pajitnov wasn't privy, missing out on approximately $40 million. So Tetris totally took off, and its addictive qualities were rather apparent. But why? The addictiveness of Tetris is due to something known as the Zeigarnik effect. In the 1930s, Russian psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik noticed that a waitress had the ability to remember a dozen orders, but immediately forgot all the information as soon as the orders were completed. She concluded that the human brain is hardwired to store up incomplete tasks and then dispose of those memories when they're no longer useful. Tetris continually creates incomplete tasks, holding each player's attention. Each action only solves a fraction of the puzzle, and then once a row is full, they completely disappear. It's a consistent cycle, and it's never complete. The game also naturally appeals to the problem-solving part of our brains, which is why avid players tend to have Tetris dreams. This has been dubbed the Tetris Effect or Tetris Syndrome. Players who game for extensive periods begin seeing Tetris shapes not only in the sleep, but also in the world around them as well. In both scenarios, they begin to imagine how to clear these falling shapes by fitting them all together. Real-life Tetris that they simply can't turn off. However, the side effects of Tetris syndrome seem to be harmless. In fact, some scientists have claimed that there may actually be benefits to playing Tetris. These range from helping patients recover from post-traumatic stress, to helping smokers quit nicotine, to suggestions that Tetris actually strengthens a part of the brain called the cerebral cortex. It's also thought that Tetris can help improve spatial awareness in those who play it regularly, which should mean that the generation of people who grew up with Tetris in the 80s and 90s should be really good at parking in reverse in the supermarket parking lot. Possibly. Though it's been decades since Pajitnov developed Tetris, it's still one of the most popular games in the world, available for just about every system and platform imaginable, from phones to gaming consoles. Before we go, I'm gonna leave you with my favorite Tetris believe it or not fact. Andrew Lloyd Webber actually had a top 10 Tetris-related hit. Musical theater legend Andrew Lloyd Webber, the dude behind Phantom of the Opera, Jesus Christ Superstar, and of course Cats, released a dance remix called Tetris in 1992. It reached number 2 in the UK charts. Tetris will always top the charts for game nostalgia in our book, and if you're interested in more topics just like this one, let us know in the comments below. Also, be sure to join Ripley's on Twitch for weekly trivia, hosted with a real-time leaderboard, Weird News Happy Hour on Fridays, and other Ripley's gaming content. I'm Steph DeStazio, thanks so much for joining me today, and I will see you again next week for another episode of Cool Stuff, Strange Things. Elektronorg Technica. The fate of the game lay in the hands of, which is why avid players tend to actually have tetanus dreams. Tetanus Tetris.